Hi everybody, Dan Illman here with some exciting news. DRF Formulator, the gold standard in past performance information, is now free exclusively on DRF Bets. Join DRF Bets with the promo code WINNING. Get a $250 first deposit match bonus, a $10 free bet, and free Formulator already uploaded to your account. Access Formulator's premium features, including sortable trainer stats, race replays, personalized trip notes, and lots more. Free Formulator exclusively on DRF Bets. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at one of two stakes races at Aqueduct on Saturday. Let's take a peek at the field for the Jazil, race number 7, named after the Belmont Stakes winner, owned by Shadwell Stable. $100,000 is the purse. We have a field of 7 in here. Todd Pletcher has the morning line favorite, the number 2 First Constitution. This horse has yet to win in North America, and I don't know, Mike, he had every chance last time out, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, he definitely did. He was only second best there, too. I would argue that, even though he came up short, Empty Tomb, who wound up beating him, that horse is in really good form right now. But certainly if, First Constitution is not the kind of horse I don't think you want to be making too many excuses for at this point.
We look at the Timeform U.S. pace projector. First Constitution has been close to the pace in his last 3 starts. Timeform U.S. has him behind several other runners in the Jazil. Core Conviction should show speed. This horse has gone gate to wire in his last 2 races. Empty Tomb is going to show speed. Splice the Main Brace. There's a chance this pace heats up a little bit, Mike.
Yeah, I looked at it that way too. I mean, I'm not going to, wholeheartedly disagree with this pace projector, but the more that I looked at the race, the more I felt like there was really a chance that a couple of these riders get really aggressive in here. I think that's a possibility for the horse on the rail with Carmouche riding. I think that horse is going to go early. I wouldn't be surprised if Lescano just decided, First Constitution, he's not passing horses. We're going to go this time and see if we can wire this field. There's a couple of other horses. I already mentioned Empty Tomb, Dan. His last 2 races are the best of his career, both when they put him on the lead.
The number 1, Y Paul Y, has been a revelation for trainer Penny Pierce, who claimed this horse for $30,000 at Churchill Downs last year. This horse won 5 of 6, including this race, the Kris Kringle Stakes at Parks on December the 28th. And in this race, I thought he worked out a decent enough trip. He got to the outside, turning into the stretch, and he beats a pretty good field. The runner-up in here is a Jamie Nesk trained runner that had come into this race with some really high buyer speed figures. Y Paul Y, when I talked to Penny Pierce after the race, said that the owner put this horse in a sale before the Kris Kringle, and Miss Pierce was very happy that Y Paul Y didn't reach the reserve.
I can understand why they're happy. This horse is in very good form right now. That race that we just watched, they did it from, off the pace, just sort of sat on the outside tracking the leaders, but they don't have to ride him that way. Carmouche is coming right back for the ride here at Aqueduct. This horse has the rail. I think he's going to go forward in this race early, Dad. Maybe even if he doesn't make the lead, fall into a really good trip here. This horse is in excellent form right now.
First Constitution, the number 2, was a Group 1 winner in his native Chile. He has had 4 starts now for Pletcher in North America, and maybe he's just going to appreciate getting out to 1 1/8. In that last race against Empty Tomb, he was just parked outside 3 wide. It looked like he was moving best of all on the turn, and then Empty Tomb just wouldn't let him go by. That's been the story of First Constitution's career in North America, but it is Pletcher. He does have very competitive buyer speed figures. I'm just not sure I want him at a short price.
Yeah, that's how I feel about him too. I mean, it's not like his last race was a disaster. He didn't have any excuse. He might have even gotten ahead in front there when he came to challenge about the top of the stretch. Then he just couldn't get by. I mean, obviously, I feel like you want to, maybe be a little lenient for his lost 2 starts back at a relatively short price, just because Speaker's Corner looks like a pretty nice horse. Ran a 109 buyer that day. This horse really had no chance. I don't know, but do you want to bet him off of his other races? I mean, his Saratoga race was a disaster, granted, but his other 2 losses, there's nothing that special about those performances.
Trainer Butchery does good work with his horses, and he's got the 3 Splice the Main Brace coming in with 3 wins from the last 4 starts, including this race, open 2 other than at Parks, going 1.70 miles. And in this race, Abner Adorno took no prisoners. He put Splice the Main Brace right on the front, and he took this field gate to wire, and the runner-up came back to freak in the slop by 13 lengths with a 99 buyer speed figure. What I find interesting about Splice the Main Brace, Mike, is that They were very reluctant to stretch this horse out early in his career. Well, he's won his last 3 starts around 2 turns. A mile and an eighth, maybe that's pushing it.
I feel like it might be too, but I agree with your other take there. It just feels like I don't know why they didn't want to go along with him, but he certainly handled it since they finally decided to stretch him out. His last 2 races are fine. They're the best 2 races of his career. I just didn't see him making the early lead in this race, Dan. I don't think I want to bet him if he's trying to pass some of these horses.
Empty Tomb was claimed by one of the more underrated trainers on the circuit for $80,000 at Saratoga. It took a couple of races for him to find his stride. He won 2 starts back over First Constitution, and then he ran well against Forewarned in the Queens County on the lead. Distance shouldn't be an issue. I know he's 0 for 7 at this distance. I don't worry about him at this distance, and I think he has a versatile enough running style where he doesn't necessarily need the lead.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. I mean, I feel like just because his last 2 races are, pretty clearly the best of his career, you're probably in a situation now where if you're Falcone and Cancel, you don't want to change that too much. So we'll see what they decide to do in this race. I'm like you. I'm not that worried about the mile and an eighth for this horse. I do think he ran well last time. I guess I would want to see what kind of price he is. They made him 3-1 on the line. I don't think I'd bet him at that price.
Patience has paid off for the connections of the 5, Core Conviction. This is a 5-year-old. He's only run 3 times. Here's his most recent start, a 1-turn mile on December the 12th at Aqueduct. He controlled the pace from the start. He got away in upper stretch, and then he holds sway under a drive. The 4th place finisher would come back to hit the board in an entry-level allowance race with a 92 buyer. So he's stepping up into the stakes ranks for the first time. He's stretching out around 2 turns on dirt for the first time, but he has figs, and I guess you can still say he has upside despite being a 5-year-old.
Yeah, I think he probably does. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens in here because it feels like, for all the things that you just laid out against him, that there's a lot that he has to overcome if he's going to win this race. He was really good, though, visually impressive and fast, too, when he broke his maiden off of that layoff first time on dirt. I thought he ran really well last time. I know he didn't win by a lot, but they kept the pressure on him on the lead all the way in there. He shook free. It felt like the 2nd and 3rd finishers both had a lot of momentum coming after him there in the final furlong, and he just held those horses up. I thought he ran great last time.
The number 6, 12-Volt Man, is 3 for 3 in fast-track dirt routes, including this victory where he got a beautiful ride in the Claiming Crown Jewel at Gulfstream. At this distance, an important situation. He was on the outside on the backstretch. He knew Hanaleas Houdini was going to drift. Hanaleas Houdini, not to be rude, his nickname when he was racing in the Mid-Atlantic area was Hangaleas Houdini, and maybe that was the case here as 12-Volt Man came and got him. Hanaleas Houdini would run a well-beaten second in his subsequent start at Aqueduct in an 80,000 with an 86 buyer.
This horse ran fine in that race. I did think he got a great trip and probably took advantage a little bit, but he still ran, and he's probably in a spot here, Dan, that could, really set up well for him. Obviously, he's got to improve a lot, but if they go in front of this horse and he just sort of sits back and saves ground, I mean, we were talking about the upside that Core Conviction has. This horse has upside too.
Uriah St. Louis, one of the hardest working trainers in the entire business, and he got Forewarned to score at a huge price last time out in the Queens County over course and distance. Let's watch that effort on December the 19th. Give Forewarned pace, and he can come with this sort of kick. And he rallied from 10 lengths out of it early to blow by these horses. You see this pace starting to fall apart a little bit. Empty Tomb is in the white blinkers in the 2-path. Forewarned comes and gets him. And this isn't the first time that Forewarned has run well at a big price.
Yeah, it's not. He ran very well in this race. You could sort of see on the backstretch that he was traveling pretty well in this race. They came wide with him to the stretch and he closed it down. Good performance. He's almost the kind of horse, Dan, where in that Queens County last time, you sort of wish that he had run like, 4th at that price there. So he'd come back in this spot and be a big price again, because I think this is another race that he can come right back and win, but I'm not betting him at 9-2.
9-2 seems light, but with a Pletcher, with a Chad, I wouldn't be surprised if he drifts up to the 6-7-1 range. Now, maybe that's still light compared, obviously, to the 42-1 last time out. It is an intriguing race, the Jazil. You can go so many different ways. Let's see where we went, and we actually agreed on this one. We're going to go with the 5, Core Conviction. I just think he's going to get to the lead, Mike, and I think he might be pretty good. It's worrisome that there hasn't been a lot of racing, but in Chad, I trust.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, I actually struggled to come up with a top pick in this race. I didn't really know where I was going to go. Ultimately, I just didn't like the Pletcher horse, First Constitution, enough to put him on top. I know he can win. Didn't like him enough to put him on top at a short price. And I do feel like Core Conviction has run really well in his 2 dirt shots. I know his figure dropped last time. I thought he ran better in that spot than he did break in his maiden.
Same superfecta, different order. Mike's going 5-1-2-7. I'm going 5-2-1-7 in the Jazil at Aqueduct on Saturday. Good luck.